Good morning, YouTubians. It's Comics Ghost. It's Monday, the 5th of August 2024. It's the day after Pride in Brighton. I'm on my way up to HMV to see the latest releases. I'm going to take you back, show you what I picked up. I'm actually after nothing today, but I did pick up a title from last week, a bit strange. I also received a box from Imprint Films to show you as well. So there should be at least 5 titles today. So let's go and grab a coffee and then I'll take you around HMV. I'll see you all in a bit. As the shutters rise in HMV, I go in. Yeah, one day I'll do an Indiana Jones and roll under grabbing my baseball cap. Trouble is, at my age, I'll never get back up again. What's this? HMV want me to perform? Well, that's short notice. In no particular order, I'm going to start with The Fall Guy. This stars Ryan Gosling as an ex-stuntman who is trying to find a missing actor who's set to star in his ex-girlfriend's movie. Long film, this one, coming in at 2 hours, 26 minutes. £14.99 for this one. Carries a 12 certificate. Jerry and Sylvia Anderson's Stingray next. Set in the year 2065, we follow Troy Tempest and his psychic phones as they patrol the Earth's oceans in a submarine called Stingray. It's got a runtime 1,021 minutes and is priced at £44.99. This carries a U certificate. Summoned to Another World for a Second Time Season 1. This 300-minute 2-disc set features 12 episodes of a teenager called Setsu, who is regarded as a hero in an alternate magical world for bringing peace, and it looks like they need his services again. £34.99 for this release. Heathers now on 4K. It's an Arrow limited edition release which comes with a double-sided poster. This coming-of-age dark comedy stars Winona Ryder, Christian Slater and Shannon Doherty. £21.99 for this release today. Another Jerry and Sylvia Anderson series. This time it's Captain Scarlet and the Mistrons. This is remastered from the original 35mm film, set in the year 2068 with a cloned Captain Scarlet. With a 1,300-minute runtime, this will set you back £29.99. Jerry and Sylvia are back again, but this time it's Fireball XL5. This is set in the year 2062 in space, where Steve Zodiac, Dr. Venus and Professor Matthew Mattick patrol Sector 25, trying to keep us all safe. £44.99 for this 1,018-minute 4-disc set. Crumb next from Criterion. This is a 1995 documentary which took 9 years to film. It's about the cartoonist Robert Crumb, who famously created Fritz the Cat. It's got a runtime of exactly 2 hours and will set you back £22.99. Carries an 18 certificate. The First Omen next from Disney Buena Vista. This 2024 psychological horror which stars Ralph Ineson, the guy with the deep voice, Charles Dance and Bill Nye, is set in Rome in the early 70s, and it follows a young nun whose faith is put to the test. £14.99 for this release. It carries a 15 certificate. Next is Fern Gully, The Last Rainforest on 101 Films. This is 10 years late to the party. It's an animated musical fantasy with the voice talents of Robin Williams, Tim Curry, Samantha Mathis and Christian Slater, and music is provided by Alan Silvestri. £14.99 for this release. Next is Hundreds of Beavers, a slapstick comedy from 2022. It's first time on Blu-ray worldwide. It's about an Applejack salesman who has a knack for trapping beavers. Check out the trailer, it looks very odd indeed. £14.99 for this one, and it carries a 12 certificate. Boy Kills World next on both Blu-ray and 4K. This is a dystopian action comedy starring Bill Skarsgård as a deaf-mute man seeking revenge from the Vanderkill family who murdered his family. Also stars Famke Janssen and Sharlto Copley. The Blu-ray is priced at £14.99, whereas the 4K is priced at £24.99. They carry an 18 certificate. Point Break next, an action film from 1991 directed by Catherine Bigelow, and it stars Keanu Reeves as a new FBI recruits teamed up with Gary Busey's character to take down a bank robbing team known as the Dead Presidents, which is headed up by Bodhi, played by Patrick Swayze. Also stars Laurie Petty as a love interest. £9.99 for this release. Dr. Jekyll next, a gothic horror from last year starring Eddie Izzard as both Dr. Nina Jekyll and Rachel Hyde, and oddly enough also stars Jonathan Hyde as Henry Jekyll. Confusing stuff. This is distributed by Hammer Studios. It's priced at £14.99 and it carries a 15 certificate. Pumpkinhead 2 Blood Wings next from 88 Films. This is a supernatural horror directed by Jeff Burr, and this has misbehaving teenagers revive Pumpkinhead 35 years after he was tortured and killed, who then goes on a revenge killing spree. This is priced at £16.99. Strangers Chapter 1 next. This is a first in the trilogy of horror films directed by Rennie Harlin. The next two installments are currently in post-production, and this is about a couple who break down and are forced to spend the night in a remote cabin whilst being terrorised by three masked strangers. £14.99 for this one, and it carries a 15 certificate. The Week in the Wicked next, a prison drama from 1954 directed by J. Lee Thompson. It's about a well-to-do woman who's sent to prison for gambling debts, and it's about the relationships that she builds with fellow inmates. It stars Glynis Johns, Diana Dawes and Sid James. £14.99 for this Studio Canal movie. Another Studio Canal release by J. Lee Thompson, this time No Trees in the Street, a British crime drama from 1959 which stars Sylvia Sim, Herbert Lom and Stanley Holloway, told in flashback of how Sim's character Hetty broke away from her boyfriend and a possible life of crime. £14.99 for this title today. Alligator next, an independent horror film from 1980. This sees a baby alligator that has been flushed down the toilet and feeds on discarded lab animals that have been injected with experimental growth formula, mutating the alligator and increasing its size to 36 feet, so you can tell what's going to happen next. This is priced at £14.99. And here is Alligator 2 The Mutation from 1991, which is a direct-to-video sequel. Directed by John Hess, follows a similar formula to the first one. Big alligator eats growth-altering chemicals and turns on the locals. £14.99 for this one as well. Record of Grand Crest War next, the complete collection, which is seasons 1 and 2. It's got 4 discs and a runtime of 600 minutes, and it tells how many years ago the world was in chaos and one man with a holy seal returned the planet to order. But alas, war has returned. Expect to pay £49.99 for this release today. Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy, the 20th anniversary Stay Classy limited collector's edition on 4K, and with this you get a poster, 5 art cards, 5 character cards, a Channel 4 news sticker and the Many Months of Burgundy booklet with a capacity envelope. All this is priced at £34.99 and it carries a 15 certificate. Okay, so I'm back from HMV and Costa, and whilst I was there I had a strange encounter. Somebody approached my table and said, "I recognise you, you're off the TV, aren't you? You've got a TV programme." I said, "No, I wish." You might want to say, "Oh yeah, you've got a cooking show or something like that." No, I've got a YouTube channel, you may recognise me from that, but no, definitely not off the TV. Anyway, he dropped this on the table and said sorry for any inconvenience caused and just left. And I was sat there with my wife saying, that's a little bit of a strange encounter. Then opened it up and it is from Larry, the mythical man that is Larry, always sending stuff to James and Roy, very generous man. And I questioned him on their video saying, I think he's made up. I think you're just buying these videos saying it's on the subscriber just to justify the price. Only a bit of a laugh. I knew Larry did exist. But there he was at my table dropping this off. So I went outside, found him in the street. He was just about to walk off and we had a good chat. Really nice to meet you, Larry. You are a genuinely nice person. I really do appreciate it. You didn't have to do this, by the way, but it is very much appreciated. You, mate, are a star. Also, I picked this title up today, which I'm not going to talk about today. I'm going to watch this before I give you my thoughts. But when I picked this up, the girl behind the counter said there's an issue with this. In the extras, apparently all the extras are in 4K only. It's a mistake put out by Warner. Did I still want to pick it up? I said yes, there'll probably be a disc replacement. So if you do buy this today, just be warned that all the extras are in 4K. Anyway, let's get on with today's pickups and what Imprint have sent me. So I'm going to go and set these lights up that are behind me and get the camera rolling. Hey everybody, welcome back. Now you may remember last Monday I showed a box that I received from Imprint Films. These are the 4 films. I have watched them through the week. I'll give you my thoughts on these. And this movie came out last Monday, but I wanted to pick it up and watch it before I talk about it. So 5 films to show you. Let's crack on with it. Okay, I'm going to put these in order of spine number. So we're going to start with Secretary. It's a 2002 erotic romantic drama with sprinkles of dark humour. It's directed by Steven Steinberg, who hasn't made a lot of movies. Probably because his family owned a large chain of stores and they're rich enough. Now this stars Maggie Gyllenhaal as Lee Holloway. At the start of the film, she is discharged from a mental health hospital. She self-harms, she cuts and scolds. Her home life isn't great either. Her parents, they physically fight. Her father is an alcoholic. Her mother is Joan, being played by Leslie Ann Warren, and her father is Bert, being played by Stephen McHattie. So Lee decides to put herself through typing school in order to get a job, and she soon starts working for a law firm as a secretary under the attorney E. Edward Gray, being played by James Spader. He warns her the work is very dull, but she insists that is what she likes, and despite being overqualified, he offers her the position. Now, the pair soon start a symbiotic BDSM relationship where he controls her and she becomes sexually awoken, swapping self-harm for sexualized punishment. And this all comes about because Edward notices her self-harm scars. I won't say any more, but I will also mention it stars Jeremy Davies as Lee's childhood friend and romantic interest. Now, you may know Jeremy from the TV show Arrow, The Flash, or Supergirl, where he played Dr. John Deegan. Now, with a boss named Gray and the actor BDSM integral to the story, it's alleged that this was the inspiration for the trilogy of novels by E.L. James, but I couldn't possibly comment on that. This movie has got very solid performances from the 2 leads, Maggie and James, and it's got a runtime of 1 hour 51 minutes. Let's take a look inside. So the slip box and the cover have a different image. The image from the slip box is put onto the disc, and on the reverse of the cover there's an image of Maggie Gyllenhaal. I didn't see that in the film, so that is not a screen grab. So that was Secretary from 2002, and you can see all the extras included. Next one to show you is Fresh. This is a crime drama from 1994, written and directed by Boaz Yakin. Now he's the man behind Safe, Max and Remember the Titans. This follows a 12-year-old boy called Michael, aka Fresh, played by Sean Nelson, in his first feature film performance. He's still acting, but now he's moved over towards television roles. Fresh is a drug runner. He works his cocaine drop around his school time. He sparks up a friendship with a schoolgirl called Rosie and tells her one day he's going to be rich. Things don't end well for Rosie in this movie. In fact, she catches a stray bullet through her throat. Fresh's father, who lives elsewhere, in fact he lives in an old caravan across town in a rundown area, Sam, played by Samuel L. Jackson. He's a very talented chess player, and he hangs out in the park playing communal and competitive chess. And Fresh is pretty talented too. He easily beats her local players for money. Fresh's boss is Escobar, played by Giancarlo Esposito from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. He finds out that Fresh is also running drugs with another dealer. He isn't happy about it, but Escobar is interested in Fresh's sister Nicole, and he has plans for Fresh as well to rise through the ranks. Nicole, by the way, is also an addict and played by Boucher Wright. I won't say any more, but there's plenty more going on in this film. Drug addiction, animal cruelty, which I'm not a fan of seeing, murder and betrayal. This does not portray the life of a drug dealer or drug user in a favourable way. In fact, in one scene, you've got a grown woman who offers her body to a 12-year-old Fresh in exchange for a cocaine fix. To coin a phrase, just say no. Performances in this were first rate. I cannot fault it. It's got a runtime of 1 hour 54 minutes. Let's take a look inside. Slipbox and the cover have a different image. The image from the slipbox has been put onto the disc, and on the reverse of the cover you have an image of Fresh with his father Sam at the park. So that was Fresh from 1994. Highly recommend this film. It was absolutely brilliant. Next one to show you is The United States of Leland, a 2003 drama written and directed by Matthew Ryan Hogue, and this stars Ryan Gosling as a title character, Leland P. Fitzgerald. In actual fact, there are 3 actors playing Leland. You've got Ryan Malgarini playing a 6-year-old version, and you've also got Alec Medlock playing a 12-year-old version. So you can probably surmise that some of the elements in this story are told in flashbacks. The movie explains in a roundabout way why Leland stabbed to death A very nice young boy called Ryan who has special needs, which shocks the entire United States. Now, watching this unfold on the news is Pearl Madison, being played by Don Cheadle. He wants to write Leland's version of events for his next book, and he happens to run a writing workshop inside the juvenile prison where Leland is now residing. You've also got Leland's father. He is a famous writer, and he discovers his son's predicament via a newspaper whilst on a flight, so he makes a trip back to the court for the court case. He's living apart from his wife. He's now in Paris. Safe to say, father and son do not have a close relationship. His dad is Albert, played by Kevin Spacey, who was one of the producers on this movie. Now, as to why Leland stabbed the young boy, I'm not going to divulge it, but it's probably not what you're thinking. So watch this film, it's worth it. Also stars Lena Olin as Leland's mother, Mary Beth. There's also Michael Pena as a fellow inmate, Chris Klein, Michelle Williams, Jenna Malone, Ron Canada as Pearl's boss in prison, and Kerry Washington. So fantastic cast, and it works because the acting is faultless. It's a slow burn, but sometimes they can be the best. This one's got a runtime of 1 hour 44 minutes. Let's take a look inside. Slipbox and the cover have a different image. The image from the slipbox has been put onto the disc, and on the reverse of the cover there is a screenshot from the film. So that was the United States of Leland from 2003. Next one to show you is a world's first Blu-ray release, and it is of Ramblin' Rose. It's a drama from 1991 directed by Martha Coolidge. She directed Real Genius, which I showed on the 27th of February last year. Now this film starts out in 1971 with Buddy heading towards his childhood home in Louisiana to visit his father. Buddy at this point is being played by John Hurd. He starts to remember his childhood, and the rest of the film is shown in flashbacks, which is in the 1930s during the Great Depression. And at that point then, Buddy is now played by Lucas Haas. And I think he was 15 years old when they filmed this, but he is playing a 13-year-old. Remember that. So then we meet Buddy's parents. His father, Mr. Hillier, is being played by Robert Duvall, and his mother, Mrs. Hillier, is being played by Diane Ladd. And together they hire a young woman called Rose to help around the house with the children, that kind of thing. Rose is played by Laura Dern, which is Diane's real daughter. So Rose was an orphan, and she would have ended up more likely in a life of prostitution. And now she had, let's just say, a promiscuous way about her. She tries it on with Mr. Hillier, and after a little grope, he rejects her. And that very same night, she crawls into Buddy's bed just for a chat. But Buddy's now at the age where he's noticing the opposite sex. As I mentioned, he was 15 when they made this, and he starts to fondle Rose's breast, who was, 24 when they filmed this. Not sure that would pass today, and thinking about it, there was a similar inappropriate relationship in Real Genius as well, which is from the same director. Anyway, it goes further, and let's just say fish fingers are on the menu. Fair to say that Rose does have an impact on every man that she encounters. There's a very good scene when she's walking through the town's high street in a revealing outfit that she made herself. There's actually an image there on the back of that scene, much to the amusement of Mr. Hillier and Buddy, who are watching from a parked car just down the street. I won't say any more, but there's a lot more going on in this movie. It's brilliant. I will also mention it stars Lisa Jacob as Buddy's younger sister Frances. Now you may remember Lisa from Independence Day, and she was also in Mrs. Doubtfire, where she played Lydia. Also, Laura and Diana were both nominated for Academy Awards for their performances, and rightly so. This has got a runtime of 1 hour 52 minutes, and it's a great coming of age film. I recommend it. Let's take a look inside. So the slipbox and the cover have a different image. The image from the slipbox has been put onto the disc, and on the reverse of the cover is a screenshot from the film. So that was Ramblin' Rose from 1991. Okay, next and last is the American Society of Magical Negroes. This is a comedy from this year, written and directed by Kobe LeBee. Film opens with a message saying a magical Negro is a black supporting character who exists solely to serve a white protagonist storyline. And it goes further, saying some believe that magical Negroes only exist in stories. Others know the truth. Now, the phrase magical Negro was coined by none other than Spike Lee, and it was to criticise unrealistic roles for black men. And it is actually a movie trope. For example, you got Will Smith's character in The Legend of Bagger Vance, where he's assisted Matt Damon's character Randolph for his golf swing. Same could be said of Scatman Crothers in The Shining. He tries to help Wendy and Danny. Green Mile's another one, with Michael Clark Duncan trying to help Tom Hanks. Morgan Freeman in A Dolphin Tale. You get the picture. This stars Justice Smith as Aaron. He is recruited into the American Society of Magical Negroes by David Alan Grier's character Roger, after he witnesses Aaron being accused of stealing a woman's purse at an ATM, which he isn't, by the way.
Justice you may know from Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom or Dominion, where he played the character of Franklin Webb, and David you will know from Jumanji. He played Carl in that. He was a police officer, and he was also in The Colour Purple as well from last year, where he played the character of Reverend Avery. Anyway, Aaron is showing the Society's mission through holographic images of past interactions. In fact, they do show a vision very similar to that in The Green Mile. So Aaron is sworn in. He gets to work under the supervision of Roger. Actually, I won't say any more, but also stars Arlie Bogan in her first acting role as Lizzie. She is a love interest in the film, but I won't say who. But it's got Drew Tarver as Aaron's first mission as well. This has got a runtime of 1 hour and 45 minutes. Let's take a look inside. So the front cover image has been put onto the disc. You've got Aaron standing next to his mentor, Roger. So that was the American Society of Magical Negroes. So that was it. A big thank you to Imprint Films for sending those movies over for me to review. I really appreciate it. And remember, there will be a link down below to their website. So that was it. Have you seen any of those? Plan to pick them up or just want to leave a comment? Then do so down below. I will read every single one and try to reply if I have the time. Give the video a thumbs up. Really does help the channel. And subscribe if you haven't. It's all free. Why wouldn't you? On that note, all it's left to say is thank you so much for choosing my channel today and watching my video. Take care. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.